Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing my top 5 of 2015 video, and as you can tell I'm not with Jessica because we're both kind of busy. So we decided to film our December wrap up and our top 5 of 2015 kind of separately, and then we're just going to upload them to the channel. So let's just get right into it. So these aren't in any particular order of like best to worst, they're just top 5. So the first book on my top 5 of 2015 is Saving Francesca by Melina Marchetta. So this book is a book that I got from Jessica when we did a book swap back in February. And, well, to me, this book didn't really have a solid plot line, if that makes sense. But I really enjoyed it because of that, I think. And one part I think this is also one of my favorite books that I've ever read, because there's one part in here that kind of always really sticks with me, and it's this whole part about having to step out of your comfort zone because comfort zones can make you lazy. So on to the next book. I'm going to keep these kind of short and brief, just for the sake of keeping the video maybe under 5 or 6 minutes. So the next book is It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. So this book is about mental illness, specifically depression and suicide. So this book follows a teenager, I believe he's a teenager, named Craig, who is doing really well in school, but clearly he is under a lot of pressure, and the pressure just one day really gets to him, and he tries to take his own life, but I believe he calls 911 while he's doing this. And then he gets admitted to a psychiatric hospital or facility. He meets different kinds of people who, I guess, change him. I don't really remember much about this because I read it over summer, I believe. But I do remember really, really enjoying this, and that's why I have all those tabs. And then another book. So this book is actually a book I read all the way back, I think, like 7 years ago first, then I reread it, and that is, the name of this book is Secret by Pseudonymous Bosch, and obviously, yes, that is a pseudonym. This book is also one of my favorite books ever, I believe, and I think it has a lot to do with like nostalgia. But anyway, so this book follows two 11-year-olds, Cassandra and Max Ernest. Well, okay, so first what happens is they want to solve the murder of a magician, but then they find this thing called the Symphony of Smells, which is actually for people who have synesthesia, which I believe is like the switching of senses. And the people who use the Symphony of Smells, when they smell something, they hear a word, I guess. So with that, or I think they see a word, I'm not quite sure, but then that Symphony of Smells kind of leads them to a adventure to this place called the Midnight Sun, where the evil Miss Mavis and Dr. L kind of carry out their business. And the thing about Dr. L and Miss Mavis is that they're God knows how old. And honestly, I just really recommend reading this book. It is a really good middle grade book in my opinion. It was really good. I had Jessica read it, and Jessica also said it was good. So, and then the next book is The Walls Around Us by Noburen Suma. And this book follows Oriana, Violet, and Amber. And Oriana's story is told through Violet and Amber, kind of, because Violet is this 18-year-old ballet dancer, and then Amber is at the Aurora Hills Juvenile Detention Facility. And Oriana is kind of the link between Amber and Violet, and this is more of a paranormal thriller, I guess. And in the end, wow, I don't know if some people expected it, but I definitely didn't. And I think this is much more of a hit or miss kind of book, but I obviously really enjoyed this, and I guess I would recommend this book to people who are into paranormal thriller, kind of psychological thriller. I've heard people describe this as a psychological thriller, but yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book. And then the final book in my top 5 is a book that has a lot of hype around it that I finally got around to reading, and that is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So I don't really know much about the whole series other than it's about Selena Sardothien, who is an assassin. But in the first book, at least, this one, I'm not gonna obviously give too much away, but this book is about Selena Sardothien, and she is an assassin. basically what happens is she is sponsored by somebody to take part in the King's tournament to become his champion. And his champion is basically an assassin. So she takes place in this tournament against a whole bunch of other criminals in order to win, so she can become the King's assassin and not go back into her life of slavery. And after 4 years of servitude, she is allowed to go out free. So yeah, that's what this book was about. I mean, obviously there's a lot more in it, but if I told you that, it'd definitely be a spoiler, so I'm not going to. So those were the top 5 books of 2015. So yeah, so Saving Francesca. It's kind of a funny story. The name of this book is Secret, The Walls Around Us, and Throne of Glass. So next it'll be my December wrap-up video, and maybe a January TBR. Maybe I'll just do a wrap-up because I already kind of finished the book, but yeah, hope you enjoyed. Bye!